The Los Angeles Rams defensive line had an absolute monster day against the Minnesota Vikings offensive line, and today we're going to talk about what this unit was able to do, what some of these young defensive linemen flashed on tape, including guys like Jared Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, three guys that I think are very, very, very solid defensive linemen. Of course, the Rams have a couple other guys we'll kind of get into in this video. I'm excited for this one, man. Let's just get right into the tape. So you're going to see right away Jared Verse is going to come out here. On the very first play, he's going to set up his pass rush moves with a bull rush, right? And I think one of the things that sometimes people overlook is the pass rush plan that a guy might have, right? And that's very important because when you look at some of these plays, as a defensive lineman, you got to set up your pass rush moves, right? On one play, you come in with the bull rush. On the next play, you come in with some sort of power to pull move, and then maybe you add in a rip move or something on top of that. But you got to have a real pass rush plan, and Jared Verse has flashed that this guy has a real pass rush plan. And I want to kind of talk about it. I want to show you guys his next play here. One of the things that Verse goes to a ton is going to be a power-based move, right? And that's really what Verse has flashed on tape up to this point. But it's not just power, right? Because what this guy does is he's going to start with the bull rush, and he's going to turn that into a second or third move, right? And here's a great example of that. So Verse is going to go up against the Vikings right tackle here. He's going to straight up bull rush this guy. He's going to get right into that chest plate. He's going to absolutely hit him very, very hard. And that's the first part of this pass rush. Because the second part of it is going to be for him to basically pull with the left arm and bring the right arm over the top, as you guys see right there. Right? So that's a real pass rush plan that Jared Verse has. He knows how to set these guys up. He knows how to attack them with the power to the pull arm over the top. And if you guys watch Versus tape, this guy does a really good job with multiple different moves, right? He does a really good job being able to get after the quarterback consistently, and it's a part of what makes him arguably the best rookie defensive lineman from this class. Verse, to me, is an absolute superstar caliber player. Now, he'll develop still over the next couple of years, and, you know, he might end up becoming one of the top 2 or 3 guys. But right now, you can already tell this guy has top 10 potential at that position. Right now, you can already tell based off some of these moves that this guy has. This one's going to be a long arm. Left arm's going to kind of land in there. But really, it's once again for him to pull, bring the right arm over the top. The pull doesn't work too well. A part of that is because the initial bull rush really knocks this guy backwards and off balance. The tackle also ends up stepping with his left foot. I believe that's the running back he steps on, so that kind of makes him lose his balance. But again, Jared Verse once again is generating pressure. 2nd and 5, and you force the quarterback who is looking downfield, right? If you guys keep an eye on Sam Darnold here, he's looking downfield. He wants to take a shot downfield, but he's going to run out of time because Jared Verse is going to end up getting in there. So Sam Darnold's not going to be able to take that shot. Instead, he's going to check it down, and it's an incomplete pass. So to me, that's a really, really good job right there by Jared Verse to be able to impact this game. Now, of course, as I mentioned, Jared Verse is mostly a power-based guy, but he does have different techniques, right? He has different ways to kind of be able to get after the quarterback. Of course, it always starts with the bull rush. Notice that the Vikings made a change at the right tackle position. I believe this was the 4th play, but the first true pass rushing situation where he goes up against this tackle here. So he's going to come in on the first play and he's going to bull rush this guy. He's going to toss his ass to the ground. Now that's important because a couple plays later when he goes up against this same right tackle, keep in mind, it is the next drive. Notice how Jared Verse is going to end up using speed as opposed to using power. Now, keep in mind, Verse is going to line up in a wide 9. He's going to have that long runway, and this offensive tackle understands that he has to get out there to not allow Verse to have that 3, 4, 5 step head start. Because if Verse gets that head start and this tackle does not close that distance down, then the tackle is going to end up getting tossed into the ground. He's going to end up falling the same way he did on the last play. So the tackle, instead of getting just straight vertical, he's going to end up trying to close the distance between him and Jared Verse. So you can see he's not taking necessarily a 45-degree set or a vertical set. It's kind of in the middle where he's trying to close the distance down. And with Verse being a power-based guy, he understands what tackles try to do against him, right? Especially when he lines up like in the wide 9, for example. And he's going to go to a speed move on this one where he's going to change direction. And he's going to end up just hitting this guy with an inside move. Now the quarterback gets the ball out. The quarterback's only going to have, I believe, a 1, 2, 3 step drop. So you're not going to really get to the quarterback on these type of plays. But again, Verse does a really, really good job being able to beat this guy utilizing a different move, right? On the first play, he comes with the power-based move. 3, 4 plays later, when he goes up against this guy in a true pass rushing situation, he ends up lining up in the wide 9. He widens that stance, and he ends up hitting this guy with the speed move. right? So it's just a really, really good job by Jared Verse to just continuously mix it up and kind of make these guys guess what he's going to ultimately come to. Is it speed? Is it power? And obviously, Verse had an absolute monster game against the Minnesota Vikings. And truth be told, he had a really, really good rookie season, generally speaking. I, again, think he is one of the best young defensive linemen in the NFL. And I'm excited to see what this guy can continue to do as he continues to grow, as he continues to add more pass rush moves. Now, of course, there were a couple of other guys that had monster games against the Minnesota Vikings outside of Jared Verse. And I want to kind of talk about these guys, starting with Byron Young. Young had a very, very good day as well. The guy, to me, is not as good as Jared Verse. I think Jared Verse is a top 10 guy, but Byron Young is still a very, very good football player. To me, he does all the little things you want from a young defensive lineman. And the thing with Young is he's still a little raw and he can still continue to develop. Now, obviously, Byron Young, Jared Verse are two completely different players, but he's also oftentimes going to the bull rush. But Young did a very good job just a couple days ago against the Vikings. This guy got after it, right? You see him do a really nice job with the long arm, and he's going to end up getting the sack on the quarterback. You see basically both Young as well as Verse on the other side, just straight up bull rush and collapse the pocket around Sam Darnold. And this play right here should have told you what to kind of expect in this game. To me, what Young does to the right tackle on this one, just a really good job with the right hand, lands it perfectly underneath this guy. And you see the right tackle basically get lifted upwards. And he gets pushed right back into the quarterback. Of course, Sam Darnold tries getting out of there, and Young brings him down for a sack. Just a really, really good job. You got a really nice defensive line game by the two guys here on the left side of your screen. Just a nice job by Fiske as well as Young to kind of get underneath it and generate that pressure. Now, Darnold does run away from it. He does pick up about 15 yards. But once again, you see Young do a really good job with the change of direction. To me, absolutely love that. In a wide 9, he's going to start up field, and he's going to quickly turn back to the inside. And you're going to see that the right tackle or right guard are not going to be able to pass this off. The right guard has the responsibility of taking this defensive tackle, passing it off to the right tackle, which he does do a pretty good job making sure the right tackle can take that. But with Young being so far out there in that wide 9, the right guard just doesn't see that Young ultimately is coming back to the inside. And you can see Young's going to split the right guard and center, and he's going to generate that pressure. And this is a designed play by the Minnesota Vikings. Darnold wants to push the ball downfield. Right, he's looking 15, 20, 30, 40 yards downfield, and Young had other plans, right? He understood that if he was able to pressure the quarterback would not be able to get the ball out. So again, just a really, really good job by Young to be disruptive and force the quarterback off the spot. Now, of course, I do think a guy like Byron Young is very, very solid in terms of the athleticism he has, but he does need to add a little bit more when it comes to his pass rush moves. Oftentimes, he is going to power, and then sometimes he'll use speed and he'll change direction and he'll be able to kind of beat those offensive linemen in front of him. But the fact that Young is having so much production, and I would still say he's kind of on the rawer side as a defensive lineman, to me, the guy has a ton of upside. But I want to go ahead and switch focus as well and really get into what this guy has flashed on tape. To me, Kobe Turner has what it takes to become a top 10 defensive lineman in the NFL. The guy's quick, he's fast, he's explosive, he's super strong, and he's starting to add more elements to that pass rush. You know, in his first year in the NFL, Kobe Turner went mostly to the rip move. And it was one of the most incredible rip moves I had seen from a defensive tackle. But this guy's starting to add more. He's starting to add a little bit more in terms of speed. He's starting to toss people like he does on this one. So on this play here, he's going to first start this with the power-based bull rush. And as soon as he starts to push this guard back, watch him toss this guy to the side. You're going to see it right there. He's going to pull this guy to the side. He's going to toss him to the left. And after he throws this guy, he's going to get skinny. He's going to put the left arm in there, and he's going to generate pressure and get to the quarterback. To me, Kobe Turner is starting to add to the pass rush technique, right? He's starting to add when it comes to that explosiveness, that ability to do different things on different plays. Kobe Turner, to me, is an absolute superstar, and I think this guy has the legit potential to become one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And a big part of that is because he's fine-tuned that rip move, right? But more than that, he's starting to add, and he's getting quicker, and he's changing direction, like you see on this one here, where he's going to do a really, really good job being able to change direction. So you're going to start to the left here. You're going to get a double slant to the left, but really this is going to be a defensive line game. Just a really good job by Turner as well as Fiske. You're going to see both guys are going to slant to the left, and then Turner's going to end up coming back around towards the right. So to be able to change direction the way Turner does on this one is absolutely incredible. Right? That is not a normal thing that most defensive tackles can do, That too, to actually have it work on 4th and 2 and get to the quarterback is very impressive in my opinion. And of course, on this one, Turner's going to bring the quarterback down. A play that absolutely made a difference in this game, right? And then don't also sleep on the fact that Kobe Turner is a legit run defender as well. He's very strong at the point of attack. If you're not double teaming him, you're not going to be able to move him. And to me, this is another part of what makes this guy a good football player. Look at the hands. You see the hands are going to land right to the inside. He's going to be able to stand up the guard. He's going to control the chest. And with that, he's going to basically be able to two-gap this. He's going to not only end up taking the B gap, but he's going to come back to the A gap when the running back cuts it to the inside. He's going to wrap it up. Just a really good job by Kobe Turner to be able to two-gap, defend the run, make sure he's able to hold these guys up and make the play. You're going to get another one here. He has the inside gap on the right tackle. And once again, he's going to hold up the right tackle. He's going to make sure the tackle is not able to seal him off. And he's going to basically get in there and disrupt this play. Again, just a really, really good job by Kobe Turner. And we'll go ahead and wrap this video up talking a little bit about Brandon Fiske. The guy has definitely looked good as the season has continued to go on. He's made plays. He's gotten pressure on the quarterback. He's been able to do a lot of really good things. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Fiske has a different type of build than Kobe Turner. Fiske, to me, also has probably a little bit more when it comes to the pass rush tools. On this one here, he's going to end up spinning on the left guard, and he's going to end up generating pressure. And he sets it up well as well, right? Let's not overlook the fact that as soon as Fiske gets out of his stance, he's going to actually take some steps to the inside. Notice how he's going to make a left guard think he's going to the inside, only to spin back towards the outside. And that right there allows him to get the corner on the guard. He's going to generate a little bit of pressure. The quarterback throws it, and this one's intercepted. That's a really good job right there by Fiske to be able to generate that pressure. Now, when I talk about he has a little bit more in terms of that pass rush moves in the pass rush toolbox, you see plays like this where he does come back and he does try to set up these offensive linemen. On this one here, he's going to fake to the inside. He's going to double hand swipe, jump to the outside. That's a pretty good job right there to be able to get the corner, force the quarterback to step up and throw the ball. And one of the things with Fiske is he does a pretty good job being able to move, change direction, and do those type of things. To me, this guy's an absolute baller, and I think there's a real chance that the Los Angeles Rams are going to end up having the best defensive line in the NFL in like 1 or 2 years, right? Especially considering the fact that these guys are obviously first or second year players. To me, I think there's a real chance the Rams will end up being one of the best defensive lines in the NFL, and they're definitely the best young defensive line in the NFL at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. We will be covering the Los Angeles Rams as the playoffs continue. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with another video.